The Baltimore Ravens have been a team defined by their ground game for years. And even with all the changes around them, that identity remains critical as the season pushes forward. Derrick Henry's performance lately has sparked conversations across the league, not just because of his sheer size and power, but because of how explosive he looked in recent games. Analysts have pointed out that there have been flashes throughout the season where Henry seemed unstoppable, but something always held him back: cold weather, inconsistent play calling, and at times an offensive line that struggled to open holes have all been part of the conversation when the Ravens have relied on predictable schemes or Henry has faced stacked boxes. It has limited his ability to dominate the way fans know he can, and yet, in games where the line holds up and the scheme allows him to run with rhythm, Henry looks like the force that once terrorized defenses week in and week out. This is why so many are emphasizing the need for Baltimore to continue asserting the run. Running the football has been the hallmark of Lamar Jackson's career as a quarterback, and it has often set the tone for their offensive strategy. While the Ravens are currently the league leaders in rushing efficiency per attempt, their total number of carries has dipped this season, landing them at 12th overall. That's a notable decline considering the history of the team over even just the past few years. Under Todd Monken, they were second in the league in carries last year and first 2 years prior, going further back to Greg Roman's tenure. They consistently ranked in the top 10, with first-place marks and multiple points since Lamar became the starting quarterback. This history underlines a simple truth: the Ravens have built their identity around the ground game, and anything that strays from that threatens to limit their offensive potential. A strong running attack opens everything else up for the offense. When linebackers and safeties are forced to respect the ground game, the play-action pass becomes a weapon that can create explosive yardage and big scoring opportunities. And while Derrick Henry continues to have a strong season statistically, averaging for 0.8 yards per carry and already racking up over 1,100 yards with 10 touchdowns, there is a sense that there has been even more potential left untapped. The offensive line, as always, remains central to this equation. If the line cannot consistently create lanes, even a back as talented as Henry will see his effectiveness limited. Lamar Jackson's ability to execute also comes into play, particularly when practices are missed due to illness or injury. Even small disruptions in preparation can ripple through game performance, and Baltimore has seen some of that this season. With key players missing time in practice, injuries have been another storyline this season, with several key Ravens sidelined at various points. Ronnie Stanley's knee and ankle, Jobia Woods' foot, and Calvin's quad injury are all factors that have affected the offensive rhythm. On defense, Roquan Smith and Teddy Buchanan's knee issues have also had an impact, with Buchanan likely headed to injured reserve. Despite these challenges, the Ravens have shown flashes of brilliance, particularly in their recent matchup against Cincinnati. The first quarter was a back-and-forth affair, with drops and interceptions preventing either team from establishing control. Yet, Baltimore found a way to wear down the Bengals, ultimately taking a 14-0 lead by halftime, and playing what many would call one of their best halves of the season. The defensive line consistently pressured Joe Burrow, and the running game found its stride, demonstrating the balance the Ravens can achieve when all elements click. Momentum is a critical factor for this Ravens team. When something goes wrong, it can disrupt their rhythm for multiple quarters, but when plays start to break in their favor, they can dominate entirely. This was evident in the Cincinnati game, where key defensive plays shifted the tide. Even with the Bengals holding the ball longer, Baltimore's ability to capitalize on critical moments secured a decisive victory. Derrick Henry's presence on the field compounds this impact. While age and mileage are often discussed in the context of running backs, Henry continues to make a difference through both consistency and explosiveness. His relationship with Mike Vrabel, forged in Tennessee, has only added to his effectiveness, and the Ravens have benefited from having him available in crucial situations this season. Turning attention to the Patriots, the team is navigating a different kind of challenge after a string of wins. A tough loss to Buffalo exposed vulnerabilities, particularly in the second half. Evaluating how the team responds after that performance is vital. Confidence can be shaken, and recovering mentally is as critical as physical preparation. The Patriots must focus on execution, especially against a Ravens team that is veteran-laden and accustomed to high-stakes moments. New England has had success in primetime games, but consistency has been an issue for Baltimore. Primetime also comes with pressure, as fans remember recent games where the team struggled on national broadcasts. Yet, the Ravens veterans understand the stakes and have demonstrated resilience when the season has threatened to slip away. Defensively, the Patriots face challenges with missing personnel. Milton Williams' absence has significantly affected their run defense, reducing the impact of a front seven that had been dominant early in the season. Christian Brewer and other backups have not been able to replicate the early season effectiveness, and matchups against the interior offensive line of Baltimore will be key if the Patriots are pushed around up front. Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson will likely find room to create big plays. The battle at the line of scrimmage is perhaps the most compelling storyline for this matchup, as success there dictates the tempo and flow of the game. The Ravens' offensive line has struggled at times this season, particularly with the guard spots and overall consistency. Daniel Flea and Andrew Voorhees have been the mainstays, supplemented occasionally by rookie Emory Jones. But rotations and injuries have prevented a steady rhythm. Protecting Lamar Jackson is critical, as pressure and sacks can disrupt both the passing and running game. Tight ends have been used to provide extra protection at times, reflecting the importance of keeping Jackson upright and allowing the offense to function at full potential. The interplay between the offensive line, Derrick Henry, and Lamar Jackson is central to Baltimore's ability to execute their identity and maximize their explosiveness. Every game from this point forward carries weight, both for playoff positioning and for establishing momentum. Baltimore's veteran leadership, combined with the dynamic talents of Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, creates a formidable challenge for any opponent. New England must address interior defensive line matchups and ensure fundamentals are executed to prevent Baltimore from controlling the pace. The clash between a team with deep experience and high-stakes familiarity and a younger team eager to assert itself sets the stage for a game filled with strategic battles and key individual performances. Watching how both teams adjust to their strengths and weaknesses will be fascinating, particularly in areas like run defense, offensive line play, and the ability to capitalize on critical game-changing moments. As we approach Sunday night, it becomes clear that this matchup is not just about talent, but also preparation, mental toughness, and situational awareness. The Ravens thrive on momentum and precise execution, leveraging veteran experience and explosive playmakers. The Patriots, while newer in their system and facing challenges with personnel, bring a blend of youth and strategic adjustments that can test Baltimore's consistency. How each team responds to pressure, manages injuries, and executes fundamental football in both the run and pass game will dictate the outcome. The battle along the line of scrimmage, in particular, stands as the true arbiter of whether Baltimore can impose their identity or whether New England can disrupt and challenge the rhythm that the Ravens have fought to establish. Looking closer at the running game, it is clear that both teams understand just how pivotal it will be in determining the outcome of this matchup. For the Ravens, Derrick Henry is the focal point, not only as a back who can grind out tough yards between the tackles, but also as a playmaker who forces defenses to respect his presence every single snap. Lamar Jackson's mobility adds another layer, allowing Baltimore to mix designed quarterback runs with traditional handoffs to Henry, keeping defenders guessing and creating opportunities for explosive gains. The interior of the offensive line must hold up against the Patriots front that, even with injuries, has demonstrated the ability to disrupt plays in both the run and pass game. Success in those trenches will dictate whether the Ravens can sustain drives and control the clock, which in turn opens up the play-action game that has historically allowed Lamar to thrive. The Patriots, on the other hand, are facing a balancing act of their own. Missing key pieces like Milton Williams has put stress on their run defense, and as the season has progressed, opponents have begun to exploit that vulnerability. Linebackers and defensive tackles need to fill gaps and maintain gap integrity, while edge rushers must contain Lamar's scrambling ability without overcommitting and leaving Henry room to burst through the middle. The matchup between Baltimore's offensive front and New England's defensive interior will likely define the tempo of the game, and small adjustments in alignment, leverage, and timing could have outsized effects on drives that might otherwise seem routine. Patriots fans know that this team thrives when fundamentals are executed flawlessly, but lapses in discipline or missed assignments could allow Henry and Jackson to impose their will, flipping the field and creating scoring opportunities in short order. For Baltimore, the season has been a roller coaster, but they are no strangers to high-pressure situations. Veteran leadership from players who have been through playoff battles combined with Lamar Jackson's understanding of how to manage critical moments, positions them to handle adversity. At the same time, the team must navigate injuries that have impacted consistency along the offensive line and among skill position players. The ability to adjust on the fly, particularly when facing blitzes or defensive shifts designed to contain the run, will be paramount. Derrick Henry's effectiveness depends not just on raw power but on timing, patience, and exploiting the smallest seams created by blockers. Every misstep along the line, every failed assignment, and every misread could allow the Patriots to seize momentum. Conversely, precise execution can turn ordinary plays into game-changing moments, giving Baltimore the edge they need to control the game. On the Patriots side, quarterback play and offensive balance will also be under scrutiny. After a challenging loss to Buffalo, New England needs to reestablish rhythm, especially in the passing game. Protecting the quarterback is essential. If Lamar is pressured early, it could force the Ravens into reactive strategies rather than executing their plan. For New England, mitigating negative plays and winning the battle at the line of scrimmage will be crucial. They must be prepared for both power runs by Henry and read option plays with Jackson. Discipline in tackling, shedding blocks, and maintaining gap assignments will test the depth of the Patriots roster. Any breakdown could allow the Ravens to turn a controlled drive into a long scoring march. And momentum is something the Patriots cannot afford to lose in this pivotal matchup. Beyond the trenches, the game also hinges on situational football. Third downs, red zone efficiency, and turnover margin have consistently been areas where games are won or lost. Baltimore has the experience to manage these situations, but execution is never guaranteed, especially against a team like New England that thrives on preparation and schematic flexibility. Special teams play, while often overlooked, can also tilt the balance. Field position, punt coverage, and return opportunities may not make headlines, but they contribute to the rhythm of the game and can either amplify or mitigate the impact of big offensive plays. For both teams, attention to detail in every phase, offense, defense, and special teams, will be critical to achieving victory. The mental aspect of this game cannot be understated. The Ravens, with their veteran core, are accustomed to the intensity of playoff-like matchups, while the Patriots, despite having experienced players, are a team still developing chemistry under a relatively new coaching staff. How each team handles pressure, adversity, and momentum swings will be as important as physical execution. The young players on New England must rise to the occasion, while Baltimore must continue to rely on the poise and football IQ of its veterans. This game is as much about composure as it is about talent, and moments of hesitation or overconfidence could swing the outcome in either direction. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. In a move that could send shockwaves through the NFL, sources are reporting that veteran defensive powerhouse Calais Campbell is reportedly heading to the Baltimore Ravens. While official confirmations remain scarce, ESPN has fueled speculation with reports suggesting the Ravens are aggressively pursuing one of the league's most formidable defensive ends. Campbell, a seasoned veteran known for his combination of size, speed, and football IQ, has long been a disruptive force on the defensive line. His potential arrival in Baltimore has fans and analysts buzzing about the possible impact on the Ravens' defense, which has consistently been competitive but has occasionally struggled against top-tier offensive lines. The mere rumor of Campbell joining forces with the Ravens has ignited discussions about a significant shakeup in the AFC North. Insiders suggest that the Ravens front office has been quietly exploring ways to bolster their pass rush, and bringing in a player of Campbell's caliber would instantly change the dynamic. Known for his leadership both on and off the field, Campbell's presence could elevate not only the defensive line but also the younger players looking to learn from a seasoned veteran. Imagine the pressure he could bring against rival quarterbacks, potentially turning close games in Baltimore's favor. Speculation is rife about how the team might deploy him. Would he become a cornerstone of a revamped defensive scheme, or would the Ravens integrate him into a rotational system to maximize his impact late in games? Analysts are divided, but one thing is certain: wherever Campbell goes, his name commands attention. The potential fit seems ideal, and for Ravens fans hungry for a statement move, this rumor alone is enough to spark hope and anticipation. The NFL rumor mill rarely produces news as tantalizing as this. And even without official confirmation, discussions are heating up across sports media if Campbell does indeed join Baltimore. It could mark one of the most talked about defensive acquisitions in recent years. The coming weeks are likely to bring intense scrutiny, endless speculation, and plenty of debate, as fans, analysts, and rival teams try to anticipate the ripple effects of this possible blockbuster signing. For now, the league watches, and the Ravens' corner of the NFL world is buzzing with excitement. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.